Welcome to Echo 305, Study Session 4, Measures of Commercial Profitability. Introduction. This session will expose you to the ways of evaluating a project, taking into cognizance the issue of time, value of money. Along with this, we will discuss different ways of appraising a project and assessing the degree of commercial profitability of a project. Learning outcomes. When you have studied this session, you should be able to 1. Discuss the basis of project appraisal. 2. Analyze the methods of project appraisal. Project profitability. Most times, projects are appraised on the basis of their commercial profitability. This is mostly taken as the main objective of undertaking or taking investment decisions. There may be other objectives for undertaking projects other than that of profit maximization, like, for example, a firm may be interested in a project just because it wants to maintain or increase its share of the market. However, notwithstanding these other objectives, we simply assume that projects are appraised on the basis of their expected contributions to profit. Relationship between relevant profit concept and data presentation. The ways and manner by which profit is defined determine or affect the way in which the data is presented. The data on a project can be presented in several ways. Whatever method is adopted, the timing of expenditure and revenue should clearly reflect if money has time value. There is a difference between periodic and total profitability of a project. The use of periodic profitability is commonly used as a measure of project's total profitability. There are several reasons for this. Perhaps the least important is that it is quite easier to appreciate the implications of annual profit than the total profit expected from a project which may have a lifespan that is longer. The calculation of capital expenditure in both cases has implications for project appraisal and evaluation. For example, let us assume that the University of Ibadan requires an initial capital cost of about 5 million to execute a dam within the university environment. Let us assume further that the revenue after all costs have been deducted except for depreciation is 1.5 million per annum. The project is expected to last for 4 years, after which the salvage value equal to 0. The straight method of depreciation is adopted at a discount rate of 10%. This information can be depicted under 2 profit concepts of periodic and total profitability concept. For equation 2, we're going to have 5 million over 1.1 to power 1 plus 1.5 over 1.1 to power 2 plus 1.5 million over 1.1 to power 3 plus 1.5 million over 1.1 to power 4 plus 1.5 million over 1.1 to power 5 will give us 686,000 naira, 180 naira, 1 kobo. The present value of total profit of the project is 686,180 naira, 14 kobo. The PV of the periodic profit is higher than that of the total profit. The first calculation in 1 assumes that the depreciation cost is incurred periodically, while the second calculation 2 assumes it was incurred at once and at the beginning of the project. The second calculation takes into account the time value of money, hence affect the treatment of depreciation, which eventually affects the profitability of the dam project. Since money has time value, It means the way the project data are presented may affect the estimated profitability. Appraisal method. There are different ways of appraising a project and assessing the degree of commercial profitability of a project. They are: 1. The inspection method; 2. The payback period method; 3. Return on investment; 4. The yield or internal rate of return method; and 5. The new present value approach or method. Inspection method. This is a method of project analysis which does not require much computation in assessing the relative profitability of a number of projects. To use this method, either of these two conditions must be met. A. The project must require equal investment but with different lives, yields equal benefit each year through the final year of the short-lived project, with the long-lived project earning further benefit in subsequent years. Or B, the project must require same investment, the same lifespan, and the same total benefit, but with some projects earning more in one of the earlier years than others, which is later compensated for. To demonstrate the use of inspection method, let us make the following project A, B, C, D, E as shown before the illustration. From the illustrated table, it will be observed that project A and E satisfy the second condition in the sense that project E is more desirable than project A because it used 100 more than A in the first year. This difference was later compensated for in the second year. Similarly, projects B and C satisfy the first condition. Here, C appears more profitable as compared to B because it yields 200 naira in the fifth year, in which B yields nothing, while both projects yield the same amount each year through the fourth year. The method has an advantage of being relatively simple and easy to comprehend. It does not require any computation. This method is, however, fraught with the following disadvantages. 1. It is very unrealistic since projects will rarely satisfy either of the two conditions. 2. It does not take into consideration the time value of money. Payback period method. This is a method that measures the time required to recover or recoup the initial amount invested in a project. It is the simplest method for assessing the desirability of projects in real life. Following from the illustrated table 1, the payback period of 3 years are for project A, B, C, and E, except project D, which has a payback period of 5 years. The payback period method has the following advantages. 1. It is simple to use and understand. 2. It is based on cash flow, not suggestive according to profit. 3. It has an overriding consideration when there are large differences between the various options. 4. It reduces loss through obsolescence because of the short-term period. 4. Disadvantages of this method include: 1. It does not take into cognizance the time value of money. 2. It does not consider the total profit of a project. 3. It does not consider the term on capital investment. 4. It does not consider the fact that profit from different projects may accrue at an uneven rate of return. Unlike the payback period, which does not take total project profitability into consideration, this method simply expresses the project total earnings as a percentage of capital invested. This can be illustrated with the table below. These rates of return are calculated from table 1. These are shown in table 2 with their relative attractiveness. Project E is the most attractive, followed by Project A. The least attractive projects are B and D. Advantages of return on investment method. 1. It is simple and easy to compute. 2. It recognizes the project's total profitability in its computation. Disadvantages of return on investment method. 1. The time value of money is ignored. 2. It does not give any further important information as to the project attractiveness other than basing it on project total profit, yields, or internal rate of return. This method is the rate of return that equates the present value of future cash flow to the initial outlay. Alternatively, the IRR is that rate of return that will make the project to give an net present value of 0. IRR equals DL plus NPVP over NPVP minus NPV in N, all in bracket, multiplied by DH minus DL, where DL is the lower discount rate with a positive NPV, DH is a higher discount rate with negative NPV, NPVP is the amount of positive NPV, NPVN is the amount of negative NPV. Decision rule for IRR. 1. If the IRR exceeds the firm's cost of capital or target rate of return, the project will be undertaken. 2. If the IRR is less than the cost of capital, the project would not be undertaken. 3. If the IRR is equal to the cost of capital, the project will just be worth undertaking. 4. For mutually exclusive projects, we select a project with a higher IRR provided the IRR of that project is higher than the cost of capital. Calculating IRR. Trial and error technique is used when calculating IRR. This technique involves the following: to calculate at least 2 net present values at as close as possible to 0 using rates for the cost of capital, those that are all numbers. Ideally, one NPV should be positive and the other negative. Applying this formula to the illustrated example above, IRR equals 15% plus, bracket open, 29,500 over 29,000 minus 200,000, bracket close, times 17% minus 15%, which will give us 15% plus 29,500 over 229,500 times 2%, which gives us 15.26%. Since the calculate IRR is less than UI cost of capital, the project should therefore be rejected. The main advantage of this method of appraising a project is that it takes into consideration the time value of money. The method is, however, beset with its own shortcomings. 1. It is not computationally easy since it involves trial and error method. 2. It is time wasting in nature. 3. It is important to know the company cost of capital before it could be used. Net present value. This measures the difference between the discounted future benefits and the initial capital investment. It means the present value equivalent of the profit or loss of a project. Alternatively, is the value obtained by first discounting all future cash flows from a capital investment project at a chosen interest rate or discount rate of cost of capital, then subtracting the initial cost of project. A project is assumed desirable once the PV of the expected profit is greater than zero. Decision rule for NPV. 1. If the NPV is positive, the project should be accepted or undertaken. 2. If the NPV is negative, the project should be rejected. 3. If the NPV is exactly zero, the project will only just worth undertaking. 4. For mutually exclusive project, we select a project that has the highest NPV. Summary. In this study session, it was established that most times projects are appraised on the basis of their commercial profitability. Also, you are exposed to the various methods of project appraisal. There are different ways of appraising a project and assessing the degree of commercial profitability of a project. They are: 1. The inspection method; 2. The payback period method; 3. The rate of return on investment; 4. The yield or internal rate of return method; and 5. The net present value approach or method. This is the end of study session 4. Thanks for listening.